Hi, David McGuffin here, 3 days into my Tuscan Villa Experience Tour 2015. We're in Volterra, Italy at a Italian villa called Agriturismo Marcampo, sunsetting here in the west. Just wanted to share with you what a great experience we're having. Hopefully in the next little bit we'll be able to share a lot of video from our experience here with the group. There's 12 people in the group. We've rented out the whole place for a week for 7 nights plus a night in Florence. We're really thinking about doing this again. So if living the life of doing nothing, unpacking one time, staying in one place for 7 days, and experiencing Tuscany is up your alley, we got the tour for you. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Salute from Tuscany and the Villa Tour Experience. Ciao, arrivederci.
Hey, my friend Claudia is coming up real quick from Podere Marcampo, just to give a little update on what we're watching.
And just for you to understand, this is one of the pictures I like the most because it can really make you understand where we are. On top of this hill in the natural park of Le Balze. Le Balze is this phenomenon over here of landslides, as you can see, that happened, of course, in the centuries. And when we bought this hill, we started to plant our vineyards in 2004. Although the particularity here is to have a clay soil with a high presence of clay. And the clay is a very hard land to work because of the drainage of the water. And in the years between the 2004 and 2017, we were able to plant all our vineyards. Here, this is the oldest vineyard planted in 2004, whereas the new vineyards have been all planted up to 2017 all over here. So we have the Vermentino on these 3 pieces. We have Merlot again on this area. This is Old Sangiovese. And down over here in the picture, there is, it's not in the picture, but there is another variety that we planted 3 years ago, but we still have not started to harvest, which is called the Ciliegio. Ciliegio is an indigenous Tuscan grape that comes from the word cherry because it has a lot of fruitiness. And for this, we have to wait a couple of years to taste the first result. Whereas on the top of the hill, over here, we have another grape variety that is called Pugnitello. Pugnitello comes from the word pugno, pouch, because the grape is very small, the cluster, and very dense, and it's very nice. This year we picked some of the grapes that it produced, but we ate it as they were as good as chips. And as I was saying, here we have the major building, and all down below, all this area below the ground has basically been built for the wine cellar. So the wine cellar is excavated 5 meters underground with a corridor all around the house to keep the temperature more under control. So here, as I was saying, we have rooms and apartments. We have a swimming pool. When we could, we used to do also some weddings, and now everything is unfortunately forbidden, but we'll start back soon. And with the new tasting room, that is where I am now, we do tasting of wines, we do cooking classes, so I hope when you come, we can do some activities together.
Okay. Hey, welcome, Johnny and Eva and Diane and Lee, and those of you on Facebook Live as well. Thank you for joining in tonight with Travel Talk Tuesday. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you're okay. You can hear everything. Yep. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So tonight we're dealing with my favorite town, hill town in Tuscany. You know, there's a lot of big cities in Italy. Notably Venice, Florence, and Rome. But there's a lot of places outside of that where the locals live, the real people live. And I was lucky enough to about 15 years ago or so to happen upon the town of Volterra. And I think a few weeks ago, we did a whole segment on Volterra. Hang on just a minute. And let me, I think my water's boiling for my spaghetti, but let me just take care of that for a second. So it's not making all kind of crazy noise. We showed up in Volterra and met a lot of great friends. A few weeks ago, we did a segment with Annie Adera and her husband, Francesco, and talking about Volterra. But tonight we're talking about just about a little segment of town about 5 miles outside of Volterra, just down the hill, with my friends Gimignano and Ivana Del Duca and their daughter Claudia. And so Claudia is who you just heard. She's a sommelier, and she is just a fantastic young lady who has taken over the vineyards there in Marcampo. And so what you see on the screen right now is an image of Tuscany, or actually an image of all of Italy. Let me get this going again. And then we're going to concentrate on the middle region, so like the belt of the Italian peninsula. So you see the town here of Volterra in Rome, and Rome is a major gateway to fly into Italy from the United States. And then I've kind of given a rough outline of what Tuscany, the region of Tuscany, is kind of like a state in Italy, one of the 23, I think, regions in all of Italy. And so the region in Rome is called Lazio, and then right north of Lazio is Umbria, and beyond that is Tuscano or Tuscany. And that probably is one of the most famous regions of Italy for us Americans, because some years back, the young lady Frances Mays wrote a book, and there was a movie made after it about being in Tuscany and making her home and building a new place and renovating everything. So, gosh, I can't remember the name of the book for Frances Mays, but maybe you can help me out with that too as well. But it's just a great book, and I've read all 3 of her books. So that's where we are there. And let me move on just a little bit forward. I'm sharing the screen. And I want to talk to you a little bit about a tour that we do in Italy, unlike any tour that I do in any other place in Europe. And that is a place where we go and stay for 7 nights. And we stay near the village of Volterra at an area, at the area called Marcampo, Podere Marcampo, which is owned by Claudia and her family. And it's an agriturismo, meaning that it's a working farm. So the Italian government gives a little supplement to farmers who renovate rooms and rent them out to the public. And you don't have to go and work, but if you want to go and work there and work in the fields or help them with the harvest or anything, you're certainly welcome to do that as well. But that's the term is agriturismo. So that means it's a place to go stay and enjoy the vacation, but also a working farm as well. So my tour, we stay 7 nights in Marcampo near Volterra, but yet we visit these other destinations as well. Florence, Lucca, San Gimignano, and Siena.
Hey, David McGuffin here in the heart of Tuscany near Volterra. We're out for a morning little walk in the countryside. We're in the region here called Le Bozze, or the clay soil around Volterra. Out for a morning stroll. Come along with us and take a look at the scenery here. It's a lovely place.
We filmed this several years back, but there on the right-hand side, you see Charlotte, my wife. Many of you will recognize her. And then the gentleman there in the white shirt with viola on the back of it, which means violet. I don't know what that means for him, but his name is Gimignano. He's the owner of all this property as well. And so he and his wife, Ivana, own the property along with their daughter, Claudia, and Roberto, their son.
Gimignano, the owner of the villa where we are in Charlotte, and their dog.
Moretta is the dog.
Looking back where we were staying 7 nights. Marcampo.
So that's Marcampo in this area. Don't look too hard at this. It kind of made me sick watching my feet. So just look away and enjoy the scenery when it comes out.
Hey, so in our walk here, we've reached a tough part. This must be like a 45% grade.
I'm not exaggerating either.
Charlotte and Ryan, I don't know how I've left them behind. But genuinely, was 20 meters in front of me. No race, but whoo, what a view.
Ryan, the guy in the red shirt, a fellow band director friend of mine, after it was all said and done, he called it Gimignano's Death March.
So suppose our destination is this artwork here by a local Volterran who's put this modern artwork on the hillsides surrounding the city.
So I'll stop just a second and give you an idea that where we were is in this little hill town area just to the northwest of Volterra. And so our tour that we do for this basically starts one night in Florence. And then we spend the night in Florence, do a couple of things with a local guide there, and a friend of mine named Paola. And then we leave Florence the next morning and we go to the Chianti region. And then we go through this little village of San Gimignano, which I'll show you a little bit later on. And then we go directly to Volterra. We're in Volterra for like I say, 7 nights. And then a lot of the times we're hanging out at the agriturismo Marcampo, the Villa Marcampo, and going back and forth to Volterra, which is a 10-minute ride. But on particular days, we take a day trip to Lucca, which is the home of the Italian composer Puccini, Giacomo Puccini, which and then we go to Siena as well. And then I don't have Pisa on the map, but Pisa is in this area too. We'll visit Pisa as well. You know, it's been great being able to get back into exploring Europe, especially just since we're here from Middleburg. Hey, I want to point this out too. This is my family, me and Charlotte and Brian and Jamie on a trip to Florence. And I'm looking over here at my compatriot Leslie. When was that? 1997 is when this was. So I took a bunch of my band kids back in the day on a trip, and we performed in Florence and Rome and Switzerland and Paris, and what a great experience. But this is something that popped up on some of my photos early on. But gosh, we're a lot younger. That's back in 1997. This is Duomo in Florence, the main church, Santa Maria del Fiore. And this is a replica statue of from Michelangelo of David. Just some of the favorite places I like to eat in Florence. This is the Grand Piazza in Florence. A bridge called the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge in Florence on the River Arno. An overview of Florence, I call it a skyscape. And this is, gosh, Leslie's right here, and her husband, Stephen. But when was that? That was in July or June, I think,
July, yeah, 2019.
No, not last year, 2019. And Charlotte, David, and Janet. So we had a great time there. This is in the piazza in Florence called the Piazza Santa Maria Novella. Santa Maria Novella. Another view of the Ponte Vecchio from the Accademia Museum in Florence. And then there's a fantastic market in Florence called the Mercato Centrale, the Central Market, where every day vendors from all over Tuscany arrive with fresh fruits, cheeses, fish, meats, and they sell it from 7 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, and then everything shuts down. And but these are, you can bet, these are the best places to get the fresh food. And that's where people go and shop. They don't go to Publix or Winn-Dixie or Kroger or whatever. They go to the Mercato Centrale. If you like steak, that's the best. Another view of the Ponte Vecchio, the bridge, the old bridge on the Arno River. Michelangelo's David, statue of David. And this is in the museum, the Uffizi Gallery, the offices of the family, the Medici family. And this is Venus, the birth of Venus, I think is the birth of Venus. So, but there's just all kind of great Italian art here. This is the best museum, the Uffizi Gallery, the best museum of Italian paintings in the world. Back in Volterra, these are some of the old folks, the old men who gather every morning to chat it up. I just participated in a online chat with some of my friends in Volterra, and earlier today, so they're 6 hours ahead of us. So around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it was 7 o'clock there, and Volterra was just accepted to be the European City of Culture for 2021, and a great celebration of light. Everybody had candles out in this piazza here. So they're really looking forward to some great things happening this year, great cultural events happening, even more so than what usually happens here in Volterra. One of our dinners at the restaurant Del Lucca, one of the central markets there in Volterra. This is some folks doing a wine tasting in one of my favorite wine caves called La Vena di Vino. This is a group from some years back tasting famous wines from Tuscany. My friend Massimo at a wine shop and a cheese and olive oil shop there in Volterra. This is the major town square in Volterra, and this is the main city hall there in Volterra. And this church is one of the oldest churches in all of Italy, and it's just a fantastic place. Just been renovated. The last time I was there was in September of 2019. Gosh, it's hard to believe that I didn't go anywhere in 2020. But 2019, it was just opened up this day. And I went in and just saw all the pristine artwork, totally restored. And this is about the only city view you can get of Volterra. This is the main town square, Piazza dei Priori. And this is in the restaurant Del Duca, which is owned by the same people, Claudia, Genuino, and Ivana. This was their first venture into Volterra. And they had such a great restaurant down the hill in another town that Volterra invited them to come into an old Etruscan building and open up their own restaurant some 20 years ago or so. And we go back there year after year after year for such great food. San Gimignano. I need Charlotte here. She's not here. She'll be here in a few minutes, but she'll correct me on saying this word. But San Gimignano is a hill town between Volterra and Tuscany. You can see it. It's known as Manhattan of Tuscany. Look at the skyscrapers. Those things date back from the Middle Ages, from the 14th century. And depending on how much money you had, you could build a higher and higher and higher building. This is the main square in San Gimignano, and a close-up view there as well. We'll stop there on our first day from Florence to Volterra. There's actually a particular type of wine that's produced only in the region of San Gimignano, and it's called the Vermentino di San Gimignano. And no, that's not right. I should have some notes, but I don't. It's called Vernaccia San Gimignano, and it's a special type of crisp white wine produced just there in the vineyards around the city. So you can make sure you can actually find that in some of the better wine shops here in the United States as well. This is in Lucca. Lucca is a town north of Volterra and Pisa, and it's a 18th century fortified city, a huge wall. And I think I'll show you coming up in just a moment is a little video montage of some of my time and Charlotte's time in Lucca. This is the Piazza di Amphitheatro, and it's the site of the old amphitheater in Lucca. One of the restaurant meals that I love to go to here. I'll take the moment while this is going to get a refill.
Today we're in Tuscany, the medieval town of Lucca. Lucca here is surrounded by a wall that's about 100 feet wide, flat paved surface, and we've ran by for a couple hours around the city walls of Lucca. Come join me.
You can see the walls are right here. Like I say, 100 feet wide, you can ride all the way around the city. but it's not medieval walls. It's walls from the 1800s. So by that time, cannons and cannonballs were already very prevalent. And so the city of Lucca built these walls to withstand cannonballs. And the crazy thing is the city was never attacked. So they never had to defend anything. So the walls were really built for nothing except for us 20 and 21st century tourists to get on a bike and ride around.
So we've been going here about 15 minutes and probably are most of the way around the wall. As I mentioned, this is a pretty good idea. It's beautiful. Today is wonderful. Some of the shady stretches and some stretches that are in the sun. Beautiful views to the inside of the town of the medieval cathedrals and piazzas. Lucca seems to be a great place to visit. Hope you come here with me sometime. Ciao.
I don't know what that looks all about. Here we are back at Marcampo. So we've looked at some of the destinations that we visit on day trips. But now in Marcampo, you heard Claudia mention about her winery, and the cantina is what the cellar is called, is down 5 meters, so 15, 20 feet below the ground. And in the cantina is where all the fermentation, the bottling, all of that goes on. So this was a day in, in the late summer where they were actually bottling some of the wine. This particular video was taken in September when they had harvested the Merlot grapes in the vineyards right out from the Marcampo. And this is Gimignano here, his daughter Claudia, and some other helpers. And we were lucky enough to be there when all of that was happening. So the grapes are put into this device which destems them and crushes them. And then from there, this corkscrew device runs it in, and the hose goes up into a big vat, stainless steel vat, which holds the grape juice. I'm going to stop right here because I've got a pot of water boiling on the stove. I use pasta called Borella pasta. It's from Italy. Actually, it's crazy because the flour there is from the Canadian province of Manitoba. So they ship the flour, or they ship the wheat all the way over to Italy. It's made into pasta there, and then they ship it all the way back over here, and we can buy it at our local grocery store. But it's some of the best dried pasta there is. So I'm going to put a little bit of spaghetti, number 5 is what it is, and in there, and cook it for 10 minutes. And then I've got a little bit of my my tomato sauce heating up as well. So that's what I'm going to have for dinner. And I think Charlotte and Leslie and I are going to enjoy that in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I want to talk about the cooking classes at Marcampo. So for many years, we did the cooking classes at their restaurant. But in the last 4 or 5 years, things have changed up a little bit in the restaurant. I wonder, hey, Charlotte, maybe could you put the pasta in there in the water, please? Since I'm chatting. She's going to put it in for 10 minutes and set an alarm, but it's only 10 minutes because it's got to be al dente. So only to the tooth. It can't be light limp. And so I think I lost my track of thought. But for many years, we did the cooking class in the restaurant in the town of Volterra, but now we do it out at Marcampo, the villa there. So this is some video from a recent cooking class back in 2019 that we did. So you can see there's a bowl and a setting for everybody to make their own pasta. I usually spend the day working and catching up with everything, and Claudia calls me when it's time to have dinner, and I come and eat it. The fruits of everybody's labor. Hey, Charlotte, help me with the menu there. I should have gotten it out, but what is it we usually prepare? I know we prepare the dough for bread, and we prepare the dough for the pasta ravioli. Oh, she's digging in the drawer to get out the menu. So we can do that. But it's just a fantastic 3 or 4 hour experience of cooking and enjoying the fruits of that. Let's see. We're right here looking. So there's a recipe, as I already said, for bread. And we actually, when it's said and done, we get a recipe book from Claudia. This vegetable tart is fantastic. We love that.
Ravioli.
The ravioli that has ricotta cheese and smoked ricotta and with tomato sauce. And so we make that from scratch as well. What's next?
I think set the alarm.
Then the main course is a stuffed guinea fowl with herbs and vegetables. And, sometimes we think, what in the heck's a guinea fowl? But basically it's a small little chicken, but it's really good. Really, really, really nice. And then we make a chocolate souffle, which I'm not a fan of dessert, but that is fantastic. Because a chocolate souffle, and it has like a lava chocolate inside of it as well. So that's what we do there. All right, let me move on. There's a ravioli, everybody's product. This is in their kitchen, their own little kitchen. It's smaller than my kitchen right here at home. And this is looking out from the windows of where we have the dinner. And that's what it looks like in the fall. I just want to point out that the Tuscany has many faces, many different faces. In the spring, it's totally green. In the summer, it's got wheat all over the place, but it's with golden waves of grain. And then in the fall, everything is plowed, and we have gray soil there. So here we are, feasting on what we've just cooked. That's the guinea fowl, and that's La Balse, the view from Marcampo. Salute al tutti. Cheers to everyone. This is several years back, but it's always a great experience. By the way, I'll give credit to my musician, student, and friend, Reggie Bailey. for this piece of music that took us out on this thing is he named it Beats, but he also is the composer of my theme song, Exploring Europe theme song as well. So there you have it. We're all squared away. I hope you have an idea of what happens on my Villa Experience tour. And it's the only tour that I have that you can unpack for 7 nights and stay, enjoy something. We begin one night in Florence, experience some great things there, go out to Marcampo, stay there, do some day trips, and then go back for the last night in Florence as well. And it's just a great experience. I'm not trying to sell you the tour, really. I'm just trying to show you, gosh, what connections I've made all over the place. I'm going to stop sharing this screen for a second and see if I can get to just 2 websites. Maybe Leslie, you can help me find those. That one of Catherine. Catherine Farmer was on a tour with us a few years back, and she made a documentary of the tour. And so we're going to try to find that. But we just had a great time of experiencing that. Okay. So yeah, you can see her website and maybe go to it if you want to. But Catherine is just a wonderful young lady. She's traveled with us several times, and she chronicled the tour to the villa all over the place, about arriving in Rome a couple of days early, being in Florence, being in Volterra, and then I'm just going to click on her website about Marcampo and show you a couple little photos that she's posted. But she's described it very well. So Catherine, thank you so much for doing that. But you can see that. Charlotte, do you remember when that was? 14 or 2014 or 15, something like that? It was
later than that.
Okay.
16.
But you can see a little bit about the rooms at Marcampo. There are 3 hotel-esque rooms like I'm showing here. And then there are a couple of apartments that have like a living room, kitchen area, a bathroom, and a bedroom area as well. And it's just very well appointed. And so it's a great place to go and stay. So I want to kudos to Catherine for doing that. And then finally to my website, David McGuffin Exploring Europe. And you can see that. And basically it's the Villa Vacation. And I've already got some dates, and we got people going on some tours already. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen this year. I'm hoping people go on tours, and I'm hoping we can travel. But if not, we'll postpone it to 2021. But I have some tours in May, beginning May the 21st, and in September. So to visit Florence and Volterra and Marcampo. So if you're interested, take a look at that, and hope you'll join us sometime. With that, I'm going to close down the official thing and open it up to a couple of you. If you guys have any questions or comments, that'd be great. I know that a couple of you there are coming over on Saturday to attend a wine tasting of Claudia's wines. So we'll have that at our house. And then next week, we're going to do our Travel Talk Tuesday, just a review of our wine tasting with Claudia, virtually giving us an assaggio or a taste of the wines from their vineyards. So hope you'll join us with that as well. I see Johnny and Eva. You guys, we got 2 spots. If you want to come down and surprise us, we got 2 places available. So come on and do that as well. Okay, I'm about done. So thank you guys for joining in tonight, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Any comments, questions, anything? All right, I'm going to sign off here if I can figure out how to do that. And we're going to have our spaghetti. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you, is the pasta probably ready? So there's a way I do the pasta that's different than we do here in the United States. So usually we take the pasta, put it on a plate, and then we pour the tomato sauce on top of that. Well, the way the Italians do it is to get a little bit more flavor out of that. It's called manicatura, as Charlotte says, manicatura. And that means you take the pasta with your hands or your whatever, put it into the tomato sauce, toss it, and then put it on your plate. Manicatura. So that's why we're going to have our pasta tonight. If you're joining us on Saturday night, we're going to have a little pasta as well. So we invite you to join us with that as well. Okay? Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining in. We'll catch you next week, Travel Talk Tuesday.